Ladies and gentlemen, it is 4 out of the 5 podcast pals. The fearsome 4 minus Andrew. Replacing Andrew today, we have the mascots that will run around in the background from time to time. Welcome in to a preseason prediction standings episode of a crossover between Here's Why You're Wrong and the eMLB Insiders. As we mentioned, our editor, Andrew, is not with us today, but we do have JR and Tim representing the eMLB Insiders, looking like the old men from the Muppets. And then we have myself and Brenden from Here's Why You're Wrong. Gentlemen, it's preseason. Baseball's back both in real life and in eMLB. It's a great time to be alive.
You got to do the plug, right? You got to. I'm sorry, but I got my own thing now, so you got to say from the inside or from Here's Why You're Wrong and the Whip. You got to plug all the shows now. You got your list of responsibilities.
There are too many to list. There are too many to list at this point. Which
your list of responsibilities keeps going up.
I know. That speaks to the creativity of this community, and I absolutely love it.
I hate spring training baseball. I'm just staying in character.
Just staying in character. I got to say, so a rule that has been implemented into MLB, not eMLB, the pitch clock, I saw it work last year in the Florida State League. I got to say, I'm a huge fan of it. Hitters will adjust, and that's why they do it in spring training. You know what? I'm for it, and all the old word I'm going to insert here because I don't want to get charbunnied, who don't like it, you know what? I understand it. You may think it's a little gimmicky, but you know what? It works.
I think I was really apprehensive until I watched 3 innings of the first spring training game, and I went, "Oh, I don't even care." It did not affect me. It did not faze me one bit. I'm like, this just felt like a normal game. It was a little bit sped up, but it just felt normal. It didn't feel intrusive. The commentators talking about it nonstop was a little annoying, but I get why they're doing that.
And also, they've already said that in major league stadiums, the camera won't be visible like right behind home plate where the camera sees it every time. So after a while, it'll just sort of be common practice, and occasionally you'll get a call.
Actually, I didn't mind that.
I honestly kind of liked it. It's like the play clock in football.
Maybe we should probably get that to eMLB.
Yeah, we probably should. Sorry, I derail us. What else is new?
Well, I think I participated in the derailing.
Yeah. So we're going to do a standings prediction episode similar to what me and Brenden did a few weeks ago, and we're going to have fun. And you know what? That's what we're going to do. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Shall we just dive right in? Random person picking team first. JR, why don't you start us off and give us the first team we're going to talk about?
Yes. Why don't I do that? Let's go with Detroit.
Los Tigres.
All right, and we're gonna go down, down the order. So Tim's gonna lead us off, Aiden, me, and then JR puts his team in last. He picks the team.
All right. So Tim, where you got the Tigers finishing?
I have the Tigers finishing a surprising 4th in the AL East, just barely behind.
All right.
Team to be named later.
I've got them, after looking at the other teams in the American League, I've got them finishing 7th in the American League East.
Really?
Yep.
You know what? New GMs always surprise me. The roster isn't as talented as I think a lot of people give it the credit for it being, but it's still an overall good roster. Understanding the direction that the Red Sox are going, I like 5th too.
JR?
Yeah, I had him in 5th also, so I had him kind of similar to Tim and Brenden there.
And normally, I think this would be a good time for us to all pick at Aiden and find out why he's got him so low. But I have a feeling, I have a feeling that we're going to be able to pick apart the teams that are ahead.
Yeah.
Later.
I think this is a good one to start with, and there will be more bickering or explanations as we go forward. I think that's a fair disclaimer. So why don't you go ahead and pick the next team we're going to talk about?
Tim or me?
Did you say?
Tim.
Me?
I said Tim.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Let's stay in the American League West, and let's go Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Aiden.
I've got them finishing in third place.
Wow, third. Well, I have them finishing directly below the Twins. No, I'm just kidding. They're not going to finish below the Twins. I don't think anyone will. I think they're going to be in fourth.
JR.
I have them in fourth also.
Timothy.
I have them in third.
Another one looks like we're not going to have much discourse on yet.
I think there will be more discourse as we go. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like especially with the Rangers, there's a clear top four in this division, and there's a very clear bottom four. And honestly,
Bingo.
with how talented the top four teams are, you could honestly take them and sort of outside, like the top two you can interchange, 3 and 4 you can interchange, and then 5 through 8 you can interchange. So
Probably.
it's like,
see, I disagree. I think the top three are pretty clearly separated from anybody else in that division. I would not lump Texas in with.
I feel
Seattle.
like it's more like Texas. It's more like 3, 4, and Texas in the middle.
if Texas was a player, hold on. If we're talking about like if Texas was a player, Texas would be that 4A player. You know what I mean when they talk about like that, like a 4A player. Not quite good enough to play every day at the big league level, but too good to play at AAA.
I do think Texas is a team that is strongly challenging for a playoff spot, no matter what, though.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, definitely. I think they're challenging for a playoff spot, but I think the top three in that division are pretty well ahead of everybody else.
That's fair.
Because it matters how much. If you think the Mariners' offensive upgrades are finally enough to actually make the offense good, and if their pitching is good again.
I'm going to go ahead and go to the NL East. Let's go ahead and go with the guys in my old stomping grounds. Let's take Atlanta.
Ooh, the Braves. You know what? Braves in third. I really soured on some of the things Kenny did, but I like him. Like at first I didn't like him, but I do now.
Yeah, I actually agree with Brenden again. I have him in third place there. I think, they still, could make a run for the division there. I think that's going to be a pretty tightly packed division, but I've got them in third place.
Tim?
I have them in fifth. Oh. But it's kind of not their fault because to me, 2 through 5 is all lumped together.
I've got them in third. So
all right. Let's throw out another NL East team. Let's go with the Nationals.
All right. JR, you start us off.
I've got Washington in fifth. I've gotten dropping down a bit this year.
I have them in sixth.
I've got them in fifth.
Can you scroll down and just let me review the teams again? So I'm gonna take a look at make sure I'm not missaying what I want to say here. I really do think the Nationals are fifth. I wanted to maybe go sixth, but I think fifth seems more right.
I think their pitching is in rough shape, but they still have a whole lot of power in their lineup.
Yeah, they do.
I hesitate. I really do think that they can be I think anywhere between 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. All right, JR, back around to you.
Let's see. Let's get an NL West team in here. One of the teams that made a lot of moves this offseason. Let's go with the Dodgers.
Ooh. And Tim, where you got them?
I have them finishing fourth.
I've got them finishing second.
Winning it.
Ooh.
JR?
I've got them in third place.
So 1 through 4.
And I think that we're going to talk about this the same way we talk about the top 3 and top 4 and for our predictions in the AL West, where I think we're all going to have the same top 4. It's just the
different
order in which we
orders.
put them.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
This offseason a lot. They emptied the farm, but that doesn't matter if you're going to be winning things now.
And they also locked up a lot of those key cornerstones. They locked up LaRon Smith. They locked up Darius D-Mac McKenzie. Like, they're locking up some of these guys to long-term deals that, yes, we're talking about right now they're going to be good, but they're going to be good in the future because a lot of these guys they traded for or signed are younger guys who they've now extended. And this core of a team is going to stay together for 5-6 years because you still got Rob Deere Jr. out there who's going to be with that team. Tony Corcoran, who has been floated around in trade talks still. You've got so many guys who on that team who I just go, that's a squad.
Yeah, Aiden, I think you make a great point there because, you got D-Mac who's 23, you got LaRon Smith who's 26. I mean, these guys, are just entering, their best years potentially. I mean, D-Mac, at only 23, could have a ton of just superstar years ahead of him.
And we haven't even talked about the pitching that's going to feature. The rotation is fronted by Luke Wander, Davis Roscoe, Freddie Peralta, and Juan DePaula, who I think is going to have a really strong rebound year. Like, that is a awesome frontier rotation.
Yeah. Tim?
Yankees.
Yankees. Yankees finishing last place in the AL East.
You know what? I can respect the consistency, but I don't agree with the pick. I got to finish in 4th.
Wow.
And I'm just totally. Oh, they did have that injury, but I guess I'm just still gonna keep it. I don't care.
I've got them in 6th,
and I have them in 7th.
So I'm the
so
outlier.
the three of us have them in the bottom half or the bottom 3 slots. Brenden, why are you so high on the Yankees this year with all the other talent that's in this AL East?
Well, I don't think that there's a lot. I think that there's a lot of talent in the AL East. Yes, I'm not as bullish on some of the other teams in the division. I like a lot of the talent that they do have. It's not an overall strong roster, but I do think that they're gonna play well. I like the pitching a lot. They got young pitchers. Am I putting them at 4? Because I had to throw something out. I guess I had to throw something out. Yeah. Could they also be 6 or 7? Yes. I don't think they're last, but I think they could finish 4th, a best case scenario.
That's fair. All right, I'll go ahead and go next. Let's throw out our first expansion team. Let's go with Attica and the Stags.
Where do I want them? You know what? I like some of the stuff he's done this offseason. Let's go 6th.
6th, all right.
Yeah, when we found out that Portland was going to be an expansion team in this monster AL West, I never would have thought that my prediction would be 6th for them. But knowing that 2 of the other teams in that division are pretty awful, I'm going to have to go with 6th there.
Tim?
I have them at 7th.
And I am drinking the 6th Kool-Aid.
Looks like we're all pretty much on the same page in this one as well.
So
right,
the headline is Tim is down on the Stags.
Yep.
All right,
Sorry,
that was you who picked that, right, Aiden?
Yeah.
Cubs in the West.
Cubbies. I have the Cubbies at 2nd place.
Okay.
I have them finishing 1st.
Wow, there we go.
I've got them in 4th.
And part of me really wants to put them in third, just so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them at second, which is where I really think they're gonna be.
My biggest thing, even though they did bolster the pitching staff is still scary to me. Like, it's the biggest question mark out of those top 4 teams in the NL West.
It is. And I was I might have been the most vocally angry person about the Seabold deal. And I still don't think it's the best deal in the world, but I have started coming around on it. When you have that much money, they spent aggressively to upgrade in a couple key areas. I like adding Noah Song. I like adding Connor Seabold. I like adding Pablo Lopez as just stability. I think that the rotation will be decent, which is all it needs to be.
Exactly. I think Jake did a really good job of working on what was not working for that team the last couple of years.
I think that we're talking at the trade deadline this year or right before it. One of these teams like the Tigers or some of the other teams who we'll talk about later who have some good starting pitching or even some good bullpen arms at the end of the season, Chicago, or at that trade deadline, Chicago still has a few pieces in the farm who they can pick up the phone and call to be able to add another weapon to that pitching staff.
Yeah, but Jake's not really a big trader. I would argue he's definitely probably like a bottom 5 or 6 guy for activity on the trade market.
But we say the same thing about Boston, and look, they've made some huge trades this offseason.
You know what? Fair point.
Well, and I think too, I mean, let's be honest, he's in a much more competitive division now where he is, and there were some teams that are making upgrades and are active. So when it comes to the deadline, I think there may be a little more urgency for him, to stay in the arms race than before.
Yeah. All right. Who's up next? JR.
Let's stay in the NL West and let's drop in Tim's Arizona Diamondbacks.
Ooh, Tim gets to pick his own team first. I like it.
Seventh.
I'll just 7. I'm sorry, Tim.
7.
You're sorry. Yeah. I'm watching them every day.
Yeah, I feel bad. I have the same. I had them in 7th too.
I would like to say this, and Tim, I'm not just saying this because you're here. I said this on the last episode too. You guys aren't in a bad team. You're just in a loaded division. Right. Like that's what it comes.
And like I was saying before we started, I like the way I've constructed my team. I can't compete with some of these other teams just for the sheer talent level. We're going to win some games because of the way we're constructed, but we can't compete day in, day out.
If you were in the NL East, we'd be having a different conversation.
I'm going to be not as nice as Aiden. I do not think the Diamondbacks are a good team right now. I think that you are in the early stages of a rebuild project, but I don't think you're going to be like an A's level rebuild where you got to completely bottom out. I think you can hover at, low to mid 70s for a couple years while you accumulate talent and then get better.
Yeah. If we finish 500 this year, I'll throw my own self a parade.
I think this was a good example here of Tim kind of taking a look at his team and saying like, okay, I have a team that could finish like, 4th place for the next couple of years, or I could, take some assets, move on from a couple guys, make some moves, and potentially fill in spots that in 2 years I am ready to compete for a division title. And it's a tough decision to make, but sometimes it's the decision you have to make.
Yeah, I want to get some young guys in there and see what they can do. It's funny when I look at the organizational chart, almost everybody in AAA has an up arrow, which it's OOTP. You can take or leave that as far as I'm concerned. But it's like from 1 to 60, we're fairly consistent. The problem is the first 30 on the major league team, that's not good enough. So we'll get there.
All right, Tim, what's the next team?
I'm not going to pick AL East this time because I've done that. Let's pick Oakland.
Oakland. The bottom feeders of the AL West continue to be the bottom feeders of the. I'm kidding. I'm actually going to go ahead and put them in 7th place.
5th.
Wow, really?
Ooh.
I like it.
I think the Oakland youth movement is about ready to hit. I think All-Star break, they're in 7th, and they finish in 5th.
Look, I'm telling you, that new GM in Oakland, I don't even know his real name, to be honest with you. The man is a smart person. I've had a lot of DMs with him, both of us being lower market teams. Obviously, I have more money than he does in a whatever. He's a smart cookie.
I eyeball a lot of talent on this Oakland roster, and I have been for the last couple of years because I really like the young players they got coming up. They've got a young, cost-controlled roster who's all getting ready to be there at the same time. Now, obviously, the new GM is benefiting on this team not being good for the last couple of years, but that's kind of how it works. I kind of anticipate the Oakland team being a little bit like me when I took over in Baltimore, where I took over a team that was like just about ready to come out of its rebuild, and he can be the guy to pilot them to the playoffs.
I don't see him piloting them anywhere this year. I got him in 7th. Flip a coin if you want him 7th or 8th.
Tim?
I'm high on him like Brenden is, but I'm in 6th. I think it's sometime after. I think September is good for them. But
keep in mind, by 5th, I still think they have high 60s wins.
Yeah, 5 through 8 is pretty much interchangeable. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. I'll go ahead and pick next. I'm going to go back to the NL East. I want to go with the Miami Marlins.
You know what? I snorted the Coke twice today. I'm not going to do it another time. Let's go ahead and put him at 6th.
Why did that look like that?
Yeah, I really have. I snorted the Coke with the Yankees and the A's. I can't do it another time, although I really wanted to put him 4th.
I love that you made the Coke reference with the Miami team, though. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I got him at 6th. I thought about putting them ahead of Washington in the 5th spot, but I've got him 6th.
Tim?
I have him 4th. So I got my 20 rolled up.
I'm drinking that Miami Kool-Aid, or Kool-Aid in quotes, however you want to call it.
Ooh, okay, someone did. Actually, a couple teams did.
Just as long as it's not the Jim Jones Kool-Aid.
Hey,
You know what? Let's go to 4th. Let's move them.
We're moving them?
Let's go to 4th.
God damn it.
I just did my line.
So much freaking work just to move them to 4th place. This is a good roster. And, like, I know Eddie jokes about just adding guys because they're extremely popular and putting butts in seats, but he's quietly this offseason built a really good roster.
I think that, like, the organization still got problems. They still have a weak-ass form. And the pitching is but that infield trio of EBC, Lito, and Ditt.
That's going to be a really big group.
Yeah.
That right there, I like that everything else is just supplemental to that. I also like Verdugo as a bounce-back candidate a lot.
And I really think he's going to get a bigger year out of Ruben Carrasco at first base. I think I think that foursome there in the infield, by next season could be the best infield in the National League.
Yeah.
Quick question.
By the end of this year.
Quick question. Out of those 4 guys, which one would you most like to golf with?
Golf with?
Yeah, we're talking about a foursome. Which one do you want to golf with?
I like
I don't
Dit.
know.
I like Dit's attitude.
I'd love to just hear EVC in general. I love watching his streams in general. No,
Mhm.
not sponsored, whatever. But he seems like a guy who could definitely, swing this thing around. Probably
EVC.
enjoys a little bit of that Miami Vice.
EVC for me as well.
All right,
That
who's
does make
next?
It looks like it's
Brenden, are
me.
you next?
Yeah, it's me. Whew. You know what? We've established a trend. I'm gonna make it the rule. The person ahead has to pick the next team's team. Let's go Reds.
You know where I've got the Reds.
Put them on the board.
Numero uno.
You can put it on the board, yes.
Oh God, Hawk Harrelson references.
It was too good of an opportunity to pass up. Shouldn't you like
Yeah,
that, Mr. Brown?
I like the White Sox. I don't like Harrelson.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, I also have them in first.
I'm drinking the Reds Kool-Aid, and I've been doing it all off season.
I can't believe two others of you picked me first.
JR, if you watched the pre-free agency one, I was drinking the Kool-Aid since
I
the
know you were.
beginning.
I was watching, baby. I was watching.
Brendan is now struggling to be the voice of reason.
He's really
Listen,
It's either first, second, or sixth.
it is, and part of it is I've kind of backed myself into a corner by putting the Braves and the Marlins where I did, in the Nationals where I did.
Yeah, you did. No pressure.
Which between the Phillies and the Reds and the Pirates do I think is going to be sixth? Is essentially what I got to battle here.
I know which one you.
This is a no-brainer for me. That question right there is a no-brainer.
Brenden does not believe in my pitching yet. He wants to put.
I don't believe in your pitching at all, but I do love getting Bowers and I love having Potts. But I'm not a big fan of most of your lineup either. Cincinnati sixth. F it. I'll just do it. I'll hate myself. And y'all of you will hate me too.
Hold on, we need to make a note. 28 minutes for a Char Bunny.
Yep.
Oh, it's okay.
And you know what? Tell him to
probably
add
gonna-
another one. Hold on, tell him to add another one because you're a idiot for that pick.
You know what?
I'll go to bat for my boy JR, and you know what? You're an idiot.
I just
Exactly, Timothy.
you have two of the best hitters in the National League. Up and down Trammell, who's pretty good, and Ethan Hearn, who's a solid catcher, and
Some guy named Trey Griffey Jr.
I kind of liked my.
two of the best hitters in the
Torres.
league. That's Ed Rios and Griffey.
Yeah, I kind of like my Gleyber Torres edition here lately.
love
I
it.
am not factoring in Gleyber, but I also am factoring in Gleyber.
You have a second to change your pick. 3, 2,
No,
2.5, 2.25.
I will. You know what? I'm gonna make more work for you because I don't care. Go ahead and move the Marlins and Nationals down and move the Reds up to 4.
God damn.
I'm gonna make all the work for you, and I don't care.
All right, JR.
Oh, let's see.
Tell Aiden he's an idiot.
Who knew that the Reds would cause so much controversy?
I know, right? That's never
Not
happens.
Not since the
Tell,
days
tell,
of
tell,
Armstrong.
tell him he's an idiot.
So from my team to from my team to my CCP's team, let's go to Toronto.
All right, Toronto. I have them in 8th.
Toronto in 8th for Tim. I've got them in 5th.
I've also got them in 8th.
Yeah, I have them 8th too, even though I do like what Harris has been doing there with some of the talent he's bringing together and moving some of his veteran guys.
I just don't think the rebuild's anywhere close to being done.
I just wanted to be different and shake something up. And you know what? This felt like an okay team to do it with because they could surprise some people with how young they are.
They could.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's stay in the AL East, and I will keep with the Brendan's trend. Aiden, the Rays.
Yeah, there's no question for me. But
Third.
I also have the Rays in third.
I also have the Rays in first.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand the homer pick. All right. And I wasn't even going to pick it apart. But, Tim, why don't you tell us why you feel the Rays are first?
I don't think – at first I thought the Luger injury was going to hurt them as much as Nutball's injury hurt you guys last year. But they made some moves. And as a matter of fact, I have Aiden Pearson winning MVP this year in the American League. And I think with the lineup and that boost of Aiden being a little bit better, I think that's going to be enough to win this division. And I would be curious to see what this team would do in the AL West. But I think they win the East.
Tim, I thank you for your kind words because it feels nice to hear someone talking about me nice rather than just having to listen to myself say it. So you know what? I appreciate it.
It's okay.
Look,
and thank you for the 50. I appreciate
saying
that.
You're third in a division where there are 3 good teams is not an insult.
I'm not saying it's an insult, but it's nice to hear someone praise my team that's not me.
I really like the pitching staff you've got there, with the Rays. I think the Tampa's staff and Cleveland staff are both really, really top notch.
Mm-hmm.
What was the difference maker for me is just I don't know whether to trust that lineup or not after the way some of the guys performed last year. I don't know if what we're going to see from Franco and Flaherty and Marte and some of those guys this year.
I will tell you right now, Marte he may not have an opening day starting spot in the lineup. He may be coming off the bench. And I think that something I went for this offseason, whether with just calling some guys up and rearranging some things around and different OSTs and things like that, is I went for more of a Moneyball approach, and I want guys who get on base at high clips because I have those power guys in Pearson and Franco and Mayhall and even Kelnick in the middle of that lineup who can drive those guys in. But I wanted guys at the top like, Alex Murray, like Ashlis Dudley, 2 CCPs who I've got there who both of them can get on base at a ridiculous clip. That way those guys can manufacture runs in the middle of that lineup.
And that was the thing when I did the CCP festival. Alex Murray's player was phenomenal. I was surprised how consistently good he was amongst other CCPs, and that's kind of made me look at this team a little differently. So,
on the hierarchy of threats to Orioles' dominance in the East, I do consider the Rays to be a higher threat than the Indians, but I also think the Indians could finish higher in the division this year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Like of the two teams that scare me, like I think it goes Indians Rays, but of those two teams, I'm way more scared of the Rays.
Okay, that's fair. I'll go ahead and go next. I want to go with the talk of the town recently, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Scroll up.
I'm here. I'm waiting.
Number 2.
Yeah, I have them at number 2 also, and winning one of the wild card spots.
I have them second, and I have the Reds beating them in a game 163 to win the division.
I'm going to continue saying it. I have them finishing 7th.
It would be interesting to see if you actually made your predictions based on the quality of the teams and not chaos. Whichever option.
Here's my thing, and Tim said it pre-show recording. Something will happen to Brecamontes. And Cody will blow this whole thing up again. So you know what? Until I see him willing to have some patience, until I see him willing to play the game the way it should be played, and until I see him not have such a temper, he's a 7th place team until he proves me otherwise.
Wait, time out.
At 36 minutes, Aiden is ripping on somebody for not being patient. What world am I in? I'm so damn confused.
I gotta hear what playing the game the way it's supposed to be played is. I gotta hear this.
That is a crack from the last time we recorded this when I said he doesn't know how to manage his players properly.
But he plays the game the right way.
But he plays the game the right way.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get it out of the way, Rockies.
8th.
Am I just going across the board here for everyone?
Yeah.
Self-explanatory.
I felt like let's just move this one out. Let's just get this one done.
Yeah. JR.
Speaking of terrible teams that we just want to get out of the way, how about the Minnesota?
No. Wasn't where I was expecting you to go with that, but Tim?
I have them finishing 8th.
Hold on, I'm going to do something real quick, and yes, it's going to make more work for myself, but moving the Stags and the A's up 1 a slot each, then I'm taking Minnesota and putting them in 7th.
Also 7th. I'm sorry, I'm just stunned. I don't know
What?
if I'm ever gonna. Well, if you look at Tim's board, the 6th and the 7th spots are already occupied, and he managed to put the Twins at 8th. And so, following, using my deductive
Hold on,
reasoning,
I want to see where JR puts the Twins here, because JR is in a similar spot.
I have the Twins 8th. I mean, there was a lot of talent on that team that got blown up and sent elsewhere, and I
feel like they're in the beginning of the
Twins. It's not about the Twins. This is not about the Twins. This is not about the Twins. This is about something else that you guys are implying here, and we'll find out here in a couple minutes.
Can I throw a flag? Am I allowed to throw a flag in this situation? Tee somebody up? Tee? Tim, I'm going to jump you here real quick because I feel like it needs to be done in this situation specifically.
Well, I was going to go there next.
Okay, go there then. Please go there.
Kansas City.
Last place. I mean, Brenden, I'll fill it in for you.
Yeah.
Really?
Kansas City's roster is miserable. Char bunny me again. I don't care. I am in complete no given mode. Chara bunny me again. Call me Captain Chara.
Okay, but at the same time, the bottom half of this division isn't exactly Cubs, Cardinals, Dodgers, Padres.
Hold on. Yeah. I'm gonna take something real quick and talk about what I just talked about with Cody. Until I see someone knowing how to run a team, they're not good.
Listen.
That's not.
So you pick first-year GMs above them?
Everything.
Them how to run a team.
Here's my thing. I understand. I don't know their management style, so I'm neutral on that. But you know what I have seen?
We've seen Minnesota's is just get rid of good players.
But I'm talking about the strategy. But what I am talking about is the fact of the matter is that Minerva, I love you. Don't get me wrong, but you don't know how to utilize your players, and it is apparent. You blow up your team, and you don't know how to use your players, similar to Cody. And until you show me that you can manage your team, I have zero faith. And I don't care whose feelings I hurt. Are you agreeing with me, Brenden? Brenden, are you agreeing with me?
Every single word you just said.
To be fair, Minerva has at least won a division title before.
Okay, but stumbling backwards into a division title doesn't really qualify as.
That's better than making your first act, trading your franchise player.
Okay, everything Minnesota did this offseason was bad, and I disagree with all of it. That said, they at least got prospect capital in return and have enough of a foundation to finish ahead of the Royals, who have nothing.
At least he isn't
The reason
announcing
they keep
AAA
tweeting about their
signings on
AAA team
Twitter.
is because the AAA team is playing at the majors.
I have it on good authority that the Kansas City Brain Trust has added a consultant in recent months.
You can add a consultant all you want. You can add wheels to a train, but you know what? Until the train is on the rails, it ain't gonna work.
Guys, there's nobody on Minnesota's team that's as good as Lucas Parker and Tony Bernazard.
Yeah.
There's definitely talent there to be above these bottom feeders of that.
Okay, well,
division.
Tony Courtney is better than Bernazard, so.
And I'll be frank.
And
I
Parker's
have
a
them
tough
in
left
fifth.
hander.
I have them
You
in
both
fifth,
have them in fifth.
and I have them at 67 wins. It says
Jeez.
more about the rest of that division
Yeah.
than
Again,
it does
yeah.
the overall quality of Kansas City.
You know what? I'm gonna say something bold here. Not like I haven't been doing that all the time. You ready for this? I think there's a bigger gap between Oakland and Kansas City than there is between Oakland and the fourth place team.
Okay.
I don't know what you're seeing on Oakland that is making you think that they're going to finish above hardly anybody.
Let's move on, shall we?
I'm seeing hope for the future, which
Yeah,
is
we're
something
for the
that
future. We're talking about this season.
Kansas City does not have.
I just love the fact that of all the picks we've made to this point, the Royals is where we started splitting heads.
You never know when it's going to happen. It just comes on its own.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead and do an easy one then?
Hey, how about this? You do an easy one, and then let's take a brief intermission here.
Okay. Easy one here. Let's go ahead and go with the New York Mets.
Dead last, baby.
Yeah, sorry, Denbrew. 8th place.
I'm not even sorry.
Last place for me,
Wow.
Tim.
Yes, last place. Sadly.
Yeah. Like I said, let's do an easy one to get it out of the
And
way.
you know what? So that way we can actually get back around to their starting point.
Yeah.
I'll do another one that I don't think will cause too much controversy. Expos.
I have the Expos in 7th.
Same for me.
Same for me, and it looks like that Aiden's going to have them in 6th.
Yeah, I got him in 6th. But
All right, let's take a brief intermission here.
take a
We'll
brief
be
break.
back after
be right back.
this. Over under on the number of tweets this gets out of Minerva talking.
Oh, God.
Oh, so many.
Let's set the line at 8.5.
No,
Oh, wow.
I'll take the
Okay.
over. I'll hit the over. Give me the over.
I think he'll get tired and forget.
How many of them are 1 of 3, 2 of 3?
This sends him to an inpatient visit, is what it does.
You want to bring us back here, Aiden?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
I'm gonna die.
No,
Guys,
he'll just
no.
go. Hold on. He'll just go and sign another AAA guy and tweet about it.
Andrew, do what you want, but I swear that's got to make it somewhere in the.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't get the.
I said,
Oh my, Steve Horsemeyer, give him the at-bats. The star will shine. He's not going to shine. It's Horsemeyer.
All right. After the brief intermission, brought to you by Kamish's Discord channel. Make sure to join the Discord where you get the rest of the fun that we're talking about. Also brought to you by Skyline Chili. Nah, I tried. I like Skyline.
I'm
Chili.
vibing with that transition there.
Thank
That
you.
was good.
We're going for it. So we're about just over halfway through. Rough guesstimation, about a 3/4 maybe, somewhere between a half and 3/4. I forgot to get out the Expos.
3/5.
That's fine. JR, please
All right.
kick us
well,
off.
us talking about an AL West team in Missouri caused quite a stir. So how about we go an NL West team in Missouri with the Cardinals?
I'm sorry, Andrew. 5th.
Got him in 5th.
The $5 foot long,
Oh.
the 5th place.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I don't see any way they break into that top 4.
I agree. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think
be
that
tough.
I think they're kind of in the same. They're in the boat. They're sharing a boat with the Rangers, where they're somewhere in between the top part of the division and the bottom part of the division.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years in the Central, things have happened, and he has had to pull some pretty impressive magic acts to get to the playoffs. And there's no room for error in the NL West. So any small, somebody's out for a month, and it derails your chance. It's just,
his ceiling in this division. In this division, his ceiling is second place, and then his floor is 7th place. I think in this league, and the only reason I say that is because we saw what injuries can do in this league.
Right.
And so, my
I should
opinion,
say thank you.
He's got the most bounce room. He's got the most bounce, if that makes sense.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see, what kind of timetable Royce Lewis is on to come back, and how effective he is once he comes back. That's going to go a long way to determining, where the Cardinals finish up there and how well they compete for a playoff spot.
Although they do have the Rookie of the Year candidate, in my opinion, in Rodeka.
It really does suck putting him in 5th because I think that the case can be made for them to be 4th or 3rd, a really strong case. It just matters. You're arguing between who you bump down, and I think that they're the easiest team to bump down.
So if they were in the East, where do you think they are?
1.
Yeah, I would predict them to win the East if they were in the East.
Which is, I'm going to plug it again. It's where I wanted to put them.
I'm glad you didn't.
Hard for that old school alignment. Put the Reds in the West. Make them suffer.
JR gets a veto vote. Okay, before I pick my team, I just want to say we were called Stadler and Waldorf, and yet who were the grumpy old men about the Royals? Interesting. Yeah. Whatever.
Or were you guys the grumpy old men about the other ones?
No, we just
grumpy old
see the lack of talent.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
We're arguing Seattle. Lack of talent. How do you put the Royals at 4th, ahead of teams? You know what?
Don't criticize me because the division is skewed. Seattle, where do you guys have them?
Seattle is a 3rd place or 4th place finisher in mine.
I've got them at 3rd. You know what? I lied. Got them at 2nd.
Seattle is winning that bad boy.
Whoa!
Wow! I have them in 3rd.
Wow!
You got them in 4th?
Oh yes, 4th. I'm sorry.
Very good.
I had them tied with Texas in my win totals.
All right, JR, tell us why they're winning this bad boy.
They got the young pitching that is going to step forward there. That is going to be a big part of their season, and I love the addition there of Rafael Devers to go along with the lineup that they already have there. Pedro Serrano, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, is my AL MVP pick. I think he's going to have a monster season, and I think we're going to see another big year from guys like Eric Kelly. And I just think it's time for Seattle to take that next big step and win it.
Isn't it kind of wild to think that the worst unit on this team over the last 2 years has been the lineup, has been the offense? They've been super top heavy and then have nothing outside those, Kelly and Serrano basically. I love that they added Adele and Devers and Olsen the year before. I think this team is going to be deadly, and Stout's probably going to hit 30-something home runs.
Yeah, it's a real deep roster.
That's why I think that they finished 2nd. I think they're ready to take step forwards. I just don't know if they win it.
That's fair.
Playoffs for sure.
Playoffs. Talking about
Playoffs.
playoffs.
We'll talk about playoffs later.
Let's go,
That
Boston.
just hurts my Colts heart. So sad.
Let's talk about Boston.
Who?
Boston.
Beantown.
They finished 6th.
I have them in 4th. I think they still, hold out a little bit, but definitely take a step back this year.
I have them in 6th.
They are a 6th place team.
Yeah, I still don't think this is a bad team. A bad offense. I'm gonna say even with losing Devers.
It's not a good team.
This is clearly a work in progress, however the hell you say it, with the pitching staff. I think that they're gonna need a reload year, kind of like what they did in 2024, where they took a step back in order to come back the next 2 years and be competitive.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
It's me, I guess. Let's go Brewers.
Is it wrong that my OCD really just wants to just finish division by division?
No, but we're gonna go Brewers.
I got Brew Crew coming in 6th place.
I have them in 6th as well.
Same.
Not much else needs to be said here, I think.
Yeah.
They're good. They're not great.
Yeah, I mentioned the island. I actually.
So where did they finish? Where did they finish in the NL East?
4th.
In the NL East, they're 2nd, probably.
4th. I don't think that they're as good as the top teams in the NL East. I think like the Cardinals would win it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. I was like 3rd or 4th. All right. Okay.
I think that there's a big difference between the Brewers and the Diamondbacks, and a big difference between the Brewers and the Cardinals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's see. Let's go Cleveland.
I have Cleveland finishing 3rd.
Oh yeah, baby.
2nd.
Oh no, baby. Also 2nd.
I got them taking the number 1 spot.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
I have them as my AL pennant winners.
Really?
Oh.
I love Barboza. I love that trade.
I love
the
that
bullpen.
rotation.
I love the lineup.
The top 3 teams in this division are going to have a dogfight to the end, and I think we can all respect that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a last weekend of the year kind of thing for me with those 3 teams. Actually, 4, because I actually think Detroit's going to surprise some folks. And where I had them finishing under 500 last year, I have them in competition to the last week.
I think similar to the Cardinals, they have a high ceiling but a really low floor. And if they're closer to that low floor at the trade deadline, they're going to be the biggest sellers of the deadline.
You know,
Steve Hunter is going to want to blow up his team and start fresh and make it his own.
You know, when teams are in that decline phase and they refuse to accept it and they try to cling on for another year, Detroit is there right now. I think they're clinging on to the hopes that they're going to be competitive, and they're going to watch it slowly drain away for like a 75 win season.
I have Bradford being the only guy winning 20 games, but he does not win the Cy Young Award.
All right.
I think all top 3 of the Cy Young voters come from this division in the AL.
Watch out for Ethan Knight to just embarrass some people again this year.
I mean, Ethan Knight and the nutball. Barboza and Bradford, thank you. Could not get the name out of me for some reason. Then you have Spears and Martinez, who both finished in the top last year. And then also on top of that, you just got so many pitchers in there who could do something.
I'll do a little bit of Orioles news here on the show. When Jim Reed returns to the rotation, he will be the 4th or maybe 5th starter.
That's where Denny Martinez slots in ours. Also, look out for Ryan Weathers, who is moving from bullpen to rotation in Tampa.
And watch out for Dan Walker to be Martin Bradford.
Yeah.
I'm not even ashamed of that.
All right. Who's next?
Who's it, me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go Giants.
Aiden, where you got him?
First place in the NL West.
Nice.
I'm sipping that three-headed monster Kool-Aid in that rotation, baby. And also, they made a lot of really good moves. I love LeBlanc. I feel like their lineup was very power-heavy, which is not a bad thing. But LeBlanc provides that contact speed guy at the top of that lineup who can really do some big things. And a doubles machine with that triples alley out there, too. He could lead the league in triples.
You know, I like the LeBlanc trade in the end. I've soured on how good of a trade it was the more I thought about it. And that's kind of true with a lot of things. I react to them one way and then kind of look at them longer. I think of the top four, they finished fourth.
I got them winning the division. I actually think the trade that they made that was better was the Kirilloff trade, getting him in the outfield. I think that's going to be even more impactful.
Yeah, I really want to put them higher, but I've already kind of penciled in the 1-2 spot and then the Padres.
Also, remember they got Cam Candela, who's going to be at catcher this year and should be able to take a big step forward.
The continued rise of CCP catchers. Basically, at this point, if you don't have a CCP catcher or you don't have LaRon Smith,
thank you for reminding me. I'll bump them up.
I have them finish second, and I also have them winning the NL pennant.
Ooh. Okay.
I think they play better in a short series than Chicago will.
I'm with you, Timmy.
Okay, hold on. At this point, can I please request we just finish the NL West and then finish the NL East?
Well, it is your pick next, so you can do whatever you want.
Padres.
Although we did have the tradition established of picking the team below us as team. So you throw that out.
Fine, Baltimore.
No.
Padres. I'll write it down. Go Baltimore.
102-30.
Yep. Got it.
Where you got him, JR? All right. No, actually, it's me. You're right.
First. You're first.
Number 1, baby.
I've got the O's at number 2.
I have them at number 2.
I have them at number 9. No,
you have them in the AL West.
No, I actually have them relegated to AAA because apparently, we talk about soccer transfers all the time. Third.
Why am I wrong? Tell me.
I'm not saying you're wrong because I think any three of these teams you could flip a 3-sided coin and all three of these could finish wherever.
I have you guys separate the first 3 teams first 4 teams separated by 4 wins. So, and I have Ethan Knight winning the Cy Young.
Yeah, I put you above Aiden's mostly because I do trust your lineup, the Baltimore lineup, a little more than I trust Tampa's. I think Cleveland wins the division by, say, 4 or 5 games.
That playoff series was at a really bad time last year when my team had basically just we entered September and decided to quit playing baseball. We went 6-1 against the Indians last year. Across 12 games, I think our team matches up well with the Indians.
How'd you do against Tampa?
I can't remember. Legit, I can't remember it now. I can't pull it up.
I can't either, but I think I had the better of you in the season series.
Yeah, but we also faced 7 times in September when my team was actively the bed. Chara me. I'm Captain Chara.
Oh, God, making me take down more times.
104-30.
Thank you, Tim.
Just, and at 106-30, we'll probably have one too.
Hey, so we'll move on because the Orioles aren't that interesting to talk about. I will make Aiden happy. Talks.
Thank you. JR?
What was the pick?
White Sox.
I can
White
just start. I
Sox.
can just start filling them in.
Yes, yeah, I've got him at what, 6th, 7th? I can't remember. 7th, yeah.
The only reason I have him.
Why are you and Tim higher on him than us two?
It's not that I'm higher on them. I think I'm just lower on the other 4 teams in this division.
Yeah, I think the top 4 are kind of a little above. The White Sox lost a little too much, in my opinion. And
I like the Austin Meadows move for them.
yeah, that was good.
I don't like them losing Denny Martinez, but I like them adding Meadows.
That's the thing.
I thought that was a bad trade.
You know what? It's
It
not
was a
Denny
great
Martinez,
trade. I don't know
Austin
what
Meadows
you're
part of the
talking about.
trade.
It was a great trade.
We wanted to do. We're talking about doing best and worst move for each team, and I originally wanted to go look at that as a worst move for Tampa, but the prospects that Tampa got back, like he sent away Austin Meadows, got back Denny Martinez and prospects. I don't like that trade for the White Sox the more I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible trade by the White Sox. I mean, if you did Denny Martinez for Meadows straight up, maybe. But to add things onto that, no way.
Yeah, I think that puts the White Sox in a really weak spot moving forward. And we talk about teams that are maybe want to cling on without accepting that maybe they need to go into the decline phase. White Sox are another prime candidate for that. JR.
Philly.
And where you got them? Oh, actually, we only got one team left.
Yeah.
We have a team where we all went 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I have them struggling a little more this year. The one-run games and the last-minute heroics, I don't think that's sustainable year over year over year. I like the approach. I just think they kind of fall back to earth a little bit.
I think the fun
Absolutely.
differential drops a little bit. Their fun differential comes back down to earth.
Do you guys not think that making upgrades to the pitching staff help maybe keep that style of play going?
No, because you have to promise Andrew James that closer role, and the amount of lefty killers, especially in that NL East, makes that really tough, and you're going to lose a lot of those one-run games late nowadays. I know that NL East quite well, and that NL East has a lot of guys who can hit lefties well. That's why I had to take Corbin Klaus out of the closer role when I was in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think that was their biggest move, but I don't think it was necessarily a great move. I didn't think James was a good fit for either the division or for that team.
I put them in one mostly out of deference between these teams. Truthfully, out of the top 4, I really don't know which order I want to put them. And so I'm deferring the team who won it last. Both East divisions, in my mind, like you guys said, like Tim said, you had them within the first, within 4 games of each other. I can see that here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tim.
Angels. Actually, no. Let's do the Padres, and then we can all talk about Astros Angels together.
That's good. And I think we're all pretty consistent.
Can I just say something real quick about the Padres? The Padres are a really good team. Just compared to the other teams, didn't make as many moves. And maybe I'm shaded, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm shaded by the fact of new and shiny, but the 2021 Buick still rides the same as the 2022 Buick.
Yeah, I think with the Padres, I love the rotation. It's a stability thing, not an overpowering thing. It's not like San Francisco where it's top guys, top 3. They just have 5. They had 5 really solid guys last year, and the lineup is killer. Keeping Tatis and Reyes, Framil Reyes around on contracts is good. I think if they do one more thing, it could vaunt them forward. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to prioritize pushing forward all right now, or maybe be comfortable finishing, third or fourth and going for the wild card spot.
I think they give up way too much trying to get Ha-Seong Kim to corner the markets on Kims, and that's their downfall this season.
That's fair. And
remember, they did lose Connor Siebold and Jacob Nix from their pitching staff. So,
that's true.
I know that you don't have to necessarily make moves, but if you do lose some pieces like that, it is going to hurt a little bit. And when you have a tightly packed division like that with a lot of talented teams, that can drop you a spot or two.
Give me the Halos. Because I feel like you got to save the reigning world champions for last. Like, that's a respectful thing to do.
Halos at 3.
Yeah, I have the Angels at 3 also.
I have them at 2.
I have them at 1.
Oh, being different for the sake of being different.
No, I think they're 1A, 1B. Yes, both teams made moves. But Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout are Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. And you know what? I think they can take a step forward. And you know what? I like to be different too. I really love Ben. I love Tom. I love the both of them. But I think last year the Angels were this close, and they'll do something, whether it's at the deadline, whether it's another move that they make prior to the deadline. Maybe it's even a sneaky waiver claim pickup or something like that just sets them over the top because it was the one piece they needed.
I think that when you look at Ohtani and Trout, you add in Allen, you add in Thornton. I don't like that they had to lose Louis Ramos. I think the loss of the power in the lineup hurts them more than it helps. But the pitching staff's good. The lineup is really good. This is a premier team in the league. It would be first in the East.
It'd be first in any division in the game.
Oh, even over the NL West teams.
Even over the NL West teams.
Wow. Okay.
I'd agree with that.
I don't know about that either, but
I think if you swap them with, well, let's just say the Padres, I think that would be a very interesting NL West battle for the Angels, and I think they win it.
I would happily accept that trade. Can we submit that to the league office?
Yeah, can we? While we're at it, can we swap like the Astros and the Brewers?
I tried.
I think Tom is putting an awful lot of chips on Sean Thornton and Mr. Foxy, a couple CCPs to step into that lineup. So maybe it ends up making sense, but they had those couple changes. They don't have Asa Lacy in the rotation any longer.
So get Arenado. I like having Arenado. That's the name I was missing off the top of my tongue earlier. I just don't think this team can keep up with the Astros and the Mariners this year. The Astros, I think, are going to outpace everybody. It's hard to say you go from winning a World Series being the best team and then only get better. They only got better. And the Mariners' offensive upgrades add to that pitching staff enough to make me think that they're going to be ahead of the Angels. I think it's clear, that those three teams are going to be battling between each other, but I think the Angels are the team that starts to drop behind. Now watch Tom come out and win 114 games and blow everyone away on his way to the World Series because I said that. That could easily happen.
Yeah, I think
so. Let's do this.
The best two teams in baseball. I think they're the best two teams in baseball right now. And
so speaking of blowing people out of the water, let's do this. Let's give our win totals for the top and bottom team in each division. Let's give our pennant winners and our World Series winners. That way we save a little time here at the end.
Can we skip the win totals?
Yeah, I think we're looking a little bit late. I thought we wanted to do that, but I think we're looking a little late here.
I was just doing it because you suggested it, Brenden. Yeah. Let's give our pennant win. Let's give our division winners.
Playoffs and pennant.
Or we'll do playoffs and pennant. Fine. All right.
Okay.
let's start. You want me to kick us off, and we'll just go.
You go first. Give us your How about you give us your 6 playoff teams? You just want to go
All right,
all 6?
Yeah. So
And
Angels is the 1 seed, technically. Rays obviously get the 2 seed, being the division winner, get the automatic bid. Then it's going to be number 3 will be the Astros. Number 4 will be the Rangers. Number 5 will be the Indians. Number 6 will be the Mariners. I can't do it. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. No, Baltimore.
I'm not even going to engage in this. You should do it. You should do it. Keep it.
No.
It's what you wanted to do.
It's not the smart thing to do. I was doing it out of spite for you, but it's not smart.
I thought you were doing it because you actually wanted to do it.
I think it'll be close. I think the Mariners miss the playoffs by less than 2 games.
All right, I'll do mine. Easily the best team in the league. First wild card, Mariners. Second wild card, Angels. And because I think the AL is actually pretty easy to list out here.
JR?
So I got Seattle.
Hold on, Brennan. Before you do that, thank you. Sorry.
I saw.
Yeah.
He's down with OCD.
So Seattle, Cleveland, and then we got Houston, Angels, Baltimore, Tampa Bay.
Pretty easy.
All right.
Yeah.
We're just doing American League? Okay. Houston. It's all 1-loss record, so you could win the division and still be a wild card team? Or does
No. It's win divisions, first round bye.
Okay.
So you're the 1 and 2.
So then Tampa, is the 2. Angels, first wild card. Texas is the second. Seattle is the third. Orioles is the fourth.
It looks like we all pretty much have the exact same thought process for the American League.
All right, so we'll move to National League.
I don't have. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. I have Seattle. Not the Indians. I have Seattle as the.
Really?
Yes. I mean, to be fair, I have them at the same win total, but.
All right, let's go National League. Tim, go ahead and kick us off in the National League, and we'll go bottom up.
Oh, we'll snake.
We'll snake.
All right, Cubs and Reds.
Assuming your Cubs are your best record.
Yes. Pittsburgh is the first wild card.
Whoa!
And then Padres, Giants, Dodgers. Or Giants, Padres, Dodgers.
That's pretty wild. Taking the Pittsburgh. I would have Pittsburgh in the playoffs too, but having them as the number 1 wild card is pretty crazy.
JR?
Well, I do have them tied with the Reds at the end of the 160.
That's true.
So I've got Giants 1, Reds 2. And then wild cards, I've got Cubs, Dodgers. And and Pittsburgh, San Diego.
All right. Dodgers my 1 seed. Phillies is my 2. Cubs. I did it wrong. Just to be different. I didn't want to end up with the exact same situation as JR.
Giants 1. Reds 2. Dodgers 3. Padres 4. Cubs 5. Phillies 6.
Okay. Do we want to pick playoff series winners?
Well, we do our World Series picks.
So who just makes it?
Yeah. Who makes it? Who wins?
Okay.
We'll start in the middle with you, Brennan, because you're the only one who hasn't started something yet.
That's true. I'm gonna go coast to coast World Series. Orioles, Dodgers. Orioles win it. I'll homer. I don't care.
JR.
I've got the Giants in there against the Indians, and the Giants pulling out the World Series win.
Nice. Is it too late for me to homer?
Hey,
I think
hey,
so.
Brennan, can you put something next to whoever we say is going to be the other pennant winner? Just to mark it. That's fine.
I have Houston and the Giants, with Houston going back to back.
I've got the Evan Longoria World Series between the Rays and the Giants. And I'm going to homer and take Tampa.
Be real, if I'm giving my real prediction, I think that it's the Astros and Dodgers going at it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my own team there. So
Kids in your homer
Yeah.
picks.
I'm homering.
No,
I don't care.
If I'm giving my real prediction, it's in my opinion, this might surprise some people, but I'm going to be serious about it. All LA World Series, and I think the Angels would pull it out. But I like the Giants Rays a little more.
Giants Rays is a little bit more interesting because you can call it the Evan Longoria series.
Exactly. We're actually playing for who gets to claim 162 landing. We're not actually playing for the Commissioner's Trophy. When LB looks underneath his bed,
Wow.
he sees insert meme here. Andrew, I'm going to send you a meme, but insert meme here.
Oh, God.
Well, this has been a fun episode of another crossover for all of us here involved in eMLB. We appreciate you watching. For our editor, Andrew Page, for our producers, and for all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and everything like that. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Hey, look, Brendan's a future champ.
It's like watching my dad try to use this thing.
There you go.
I'm hearing the cat telling Aiden how to do this.
And he is. He's upset too.